Let's talk about comics. Let's talk about comics. Let's talk about comics. Let's talk about comics. Hey friends, it's Charles here, and I want to talk about my favorite superhero, that is Batgirl. I like her because through thick and thin, up and down, disability, she's always there. If it's acting as Oracle from behind the computer, running the logistics for the Gotham heroes, or she's out as Batgirl kicking butt, she's a great representation of a disabled character that is not simply sympathy bait. And so I'm a big fan of Batgirl. I have all the action figures, and I found this very cool back issue from my friends over at Coffee and a Comic. Got it on a Black Friday sale, so I had to check it out. And it is from 1998. That is crazy to think about. In 1998, I was in seminary studying to be a preacher. That's crazy to think about. I was fresh out of high school and didn't even know they were making comic books. You know, comic books were so far off my radar, but I'm glad I got into it. And this right here is from a series called Girlfrenzy, Batman, where they feature different heroines from the Batman series. I am not sure what was going on with Batgirl at the time, if she was just a side character or if she had her own publication yet, but this is definitely a special one-off. And in the back of the book, they talk about more one-offs from this series. And the cool thing about being a one-off is it is a self-contained story. You don't have to have any background or history to enjoy it. You know, you get a book at one price, you get a full story. And I was surprised for it being so old that the art and the character design, it felt as fresh today as, you know, I'm sure it did in 1998. You look at the way that Batgirl is drawn and designed, it is the same Batgirl that you see today in action figures and comics. We have the iconic Batgirl suit with the mask, the bat across the chest, purple, or no, this is a gray and yellow. But we have the iconic look, and it starts with a lot of action, and we are thrown right into a case. And one thing that I noticed different from this story is, first off, Batgirl seems to be a lot more willing to hurt people, a lot more action-oriented, a lot more violent in her pursuits. And so that, you know, starting off with a big action piece like this is a great way to really move the story along, get to know the character, and it's just fun. Who doesn't love a vibrant fight scene in a comic book? I know that I do. And while she is doing all this, she is, you slowly find out through her inner monologue that she is tracking a serial killer whose name I can never pronounce. He was featured in the current Batman and Robin series very early. I think it was the first arc of that book. He goes by the name of Zaz. It is Z-S-A-S-Z. You know, a storied villain in Batman lore. Like I said, he's featured in the current run of Batman and Robin. And again, I am not sure how long he's been in Batman, you know, what his state in canon is at this point. But she is figured, you know, it shows her not only being more action oriented, but really using a lot of analytics and that intelligence that she uses as Oracle, yet she's using it now in the field. And so you get to see that her mind is as vibrant and important as any bit of action that she does physically, which is a touch that I like. Really, I'm putting her on equal ground as the world's greatest detective, Batman. That's something that people forget about that characters that he is supposed to be the world's greatest detective. And we focus so much on the beatdowns, we forget that. And I think that a lot of comic writers also leave that element out, that detective work, out of the writing of his book and hers. But I like that they have showed equally the action and the analytics and the profiling of trying to find out who this guy is. Um, Very good stuff. There is next we go to a funeral of her friend Jessica. We were not told how she died, what happened. We just know that during this whole process, she is very distracted, trying, still ticking away, trying to find this Zaz character and figure him out. And she gets a mental break during the funeral and quickly rushes out of the funeral when she figures out, a vital clue. Uh, one of the first victims that we see had a nicotine gum. But she was like, okay, well, she had nicotine gum. She also had matches. So why would she have nicotine gum and matches? And she puts two and two together and finds out which hotel she was staying at, and tracks our killer there. And by the time we get to the face to face, I will say one thing that we could have used is a little bit more peril in the fight scene. It is very much, he has a moment where there is a panel or two of real stakes, but other than that, she dominates him. And there's really not too much peril or tension in the fight scene. She beats him down, and Batman comes in to kind of clean things up. And that is where our story ends, and her being self-reflective and, really pensive about her future of Batgirl because of the mental toll it takes. I thought it was a great story. It's a lot different than the writing we have now at this point. She didn't have that chronic disability. I believe she is Oracle. I'm not sure. But it's a lot different Batgirl as far as what she does in the field. And yeah, I really dug it. I think that in more recent Batgirl renditions, there have been a lot more stakes. These stories have been a lot more brutal, grounded, and like I said, there's just more stakes. But yeah, you have to think you're trying to fit so much story into one book. A 5 or 6 page fight scene would probably seem like a lot for one book in 1998. So maybe that's why everything wraps up so quick. But it just reads a little bit too fast for my taste. But I really enjoyed every panel, and it is really a product of its time. One thing that really cracked me up here is at the end, right before the last panels, we have an advertisement for Jeanco jeans. Those things were so terrible. I look at those things and I instantly hear Limp Bizkit in my head. It just, when you get into these old books and these old advertisements are like a hilarious time capsule of what was going on. And as ugly as those pants were, I wanted a pair. I mean, wow. But yeah, this is the Girlfrenzy Batgirl special. And when you go to the back here, it lets you know other books that are available from this series. Birds of Prey, The Secret, Donna Troy, and Lois Lane all got their own books in this series. So it may be something that I look for, add to the list. As you know, if you're a collector, the thrill of collecting isn't so much the purchase, but it's the hunt. So they'll give me something else to look for, something else to look forward to. That's been my thoughts on this. Like I said, it's a very old book, good book. I wish that there was more tension, but I understand why the story had to be so abrupt. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, keep reading them books. You know I'm going to. I'm out.